Welcome back to another episode of the Hammer Time podcast. You may be wondering why I'm talking right now, and that is because Cade is going with his flu game today. We wanted to get a podcast out for you guys because we have not done it in a while, or not in a while, but a little bit over a week. Wanted to get. There's been a lot that's happened, so we wanted to get our thoughts out. Obviously, I'm joined by Cade. Dylan, unfortunately, not here. Before we get into it, just a little preview. We are going to talk rankings, college football playoff rankings. We're going to talk some top 25 matchups we have this week. We're going to do a new thing with some upsets that we want to discuss that we think could happen or could not happen with some of these ranked teams. We will go over Thursday and Friday bets that we have, and then coaching updates, and we have some new betting segments that we are going to finish the episode out with. As always, before we get into it, please follow, please subscribe, please comment, shout out to your friends, do whatever you got to do. We love bringing this to you, so we appreciate all the love and support. Join the Discord. Links are in, believe, Cade's bio and the Hammer Time podcast Twitter account, formerly known as Twitter account. Also, follow us on Action. If you don't, links are everywhere. If you have any questions about that, always reach out to us and DM us. So, with all that being said, Cade, I know you a little under the weather. How are we doing on this Thursday?
Yeah, it's been a last couple of days. Yeah, I'm letting him take the reins on this one today. I'm definitely out of it, but flu game performance coming soon this weekend. I'm pumped, and I'm happy that I get to bed rot this weekend and just sit at the same screen and watch 9 college football games. Hopefully, this YouTube TV stuff gets figured out. But yeah,
it is a good weekend for college football, as always. Yeah, YouTube TV. I'm not going to talk about it, but just
I don't think we need to. But
switch to something else. If you love football that much, just move on. They're not going to fix it anytime soon. So, okay, let's get right into it. We're going to start with the big games of the weekend, marquee games, if you will. We are going to start where College Game Day is this weekend, which is in Lubbock, Texas. Number 7 BYU is at number 8 Texas Tech. Actually, what am I doing? No, we're not. We're not starting with that. We're starting with college football playoff ranking discussion. Cut that out.
I mean, yeah, it's up to you.
Anyways, I just ruined the rankings. That sucks. Oh well. Yeah, we're gonna do playoff ranking discussions because we didn't talk about that because we did not do a recap this week. They released on Tuesday. I'm sure anyone who's listening to this has seen them. We have thoughts. I'm sure the Notre Dame fan loves where he's at, but we are going to. I'm not going to read them out 1 through 25 because I feel like that's a little much, but just some big takeaways that I have is I know everyone's been discussing the Notre Dame Miami controversy. I tend to side with most people that are upset with Miami being 18 because I think that's ridiculous. And once again, if you've never read like the college football committee's bylaws or what they're judging based off of, it's not based off recent performance. It's 100% a resume-based ranking as of the time they are discussing these. If the loss happened last week, it does not change anything regardless of if they lost in week 1. Yes, teams can get better and be different, and we know that. But I think it's criminal. I know we talked about it on the Discord when they released. Every team that has a head-to-head is correctly ranked. You're looking at Bama's ranked over Georgia. Georgia ranked over Ole Miss. What's the other one? Virginia's ranked over Louisville. And then there's there's a lot. So, yeah, Miami being 18 and Notre Dame being 10, I think is ridiculous. I think Notre Dame's ranked too high. I personally would have them like 14 or 15 if we really had to rank them. And once again, this is going to sort itself out, and we know that, and that's why this whole conversation's just kind of funny right now. But like, Miami beat Notre Dame. Miami has a second win better than Notre Dame's. Yes, I understand that they lost 2 games in a row, but like, they lost to the number 15 team in the country and then lost to a team that made the playoff last year and is way better than their record says they are. And I think everyone knows that. So that's one big gripe I have. And then the other interesting thing that I saw, or that I kind of thought about, was Oregon being number 9, because in the AP poll they're 6th, and it seems like the committee is very much discounting the Penn State win that they had, and basically saying that, you know, the Penn State win isn't as good as it was when they played, which I've seen some controversy over, you know, that and how you can't discredit a win when the win happened. At the end of the day, Oregon just has to win out. I think if they take another loss, it's going to be really tough. And I think there is some argument that the Penn State win is more impressive than people probably think it is now. I do kind of push back on the fact that like they broke Penn State. Like you can't judge that. We have no idea. We don't know if Penn State beats Oregon if they don't go lose to UCLA because it didn't happen. We have no idea. So you can't make that call, especially when you're sitting in a chair like ours and you're not in those committee rankings. So those were the 2 biggest things. Anything stand out to you?
I I don't think anything necessarily sticks out to me, and I'll get into the Notre Dame thing, but the thing that I'm looking at the most is future games, honestly. One of the biggest things, obviously, this weekend, you have 7 versus 8. Um, Another one you have coming up. I mean, Oregon's playing Washington and they're playing USC still on their schedule. It's not necessarily going to be 2 easy games now, I want to say. Um, Notre Dame plays Pitt in 2 weeks. I know that's going to be a really big one for them and us, really. I mean, the entire ACC push right now, I want to say I'm really impressed with the way that I've seen a lot more ACC teams in this first poll. I don't expect them necessarily to finish with this many, I should say. I know Louisville plays Clemson on Friday. Is that this Friday or is that next Friday?
I believe that's next Friday, but I could
Okay,
be
so I
wrong. Oh,
know
look.
I know that's a decently big one. I know Tech, obviously, comes up playing Georgia in a neutral here soon. Mainly, your 2 wild cards, especially in the ACC ranking, is going to end up being Louisville and Miami. But right now, obviously, Louisville has the better spot. They naturally won that game. They naturally have the better edge on the conference ranking standpoint. Now, same, you could say the same thing for Big 12 as well. I mean, you have a lot of those wild cards still, and honestly, I don't really agree with taking Cincinnati out that much after they got beat that bad. I mean, that's a tough place to play personally, and I do think that they are better than a few of these, maybe 20 through 24 spots, probably. and But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on that one. But as far as the Notre Dame argument goes, I have 2 perspectives in this. You have the one who's a Notre Dame fan perspective, and you have 2, which is a college football fan perspective. And I'll start with the Notre Dame fan perspective. It's fantastic because now all you have to do is literally win out, and you're pretty much in, which is something that like a lot of us didn't even think was possible from where we are right now, I guess, as a team. Now, for the college football fan perspective, and I talked about this in the server, so they all know, I absolutely hate it. And yet, this fan base continuously wonders why they're so hated on, why are they so disrespected and just blatantly slandered. Because yeah, stuff like this, you can argue all the branding stuff that all that you want, and probably has a little bit to do with it, I'm sure. And yes, maybe both of those 2 teams are headed in 2 completely different directions right now. But again, I still to this day have not seen enough since week 3 of this Notre Dame team. And yeah, that Pitt game is pretty much, I don't even want to say that's going to be your turning table because, in all honesty, it's like you're giving them a ranked win. Like, why are they there? What has Pitt done? Like, are honestly, and it's what's funny is that, and this is what I hate, because if they lose for whatever reason, if they actually lose that Pitt game, all hell breaks loose, and all of a sudden we're a joke of a team, and you hear all this conversation stuff start going on. So I hate the situation that we're in personally. It's a really bad spot, win or lose that Pitt game, honestly. And quite frankly, yeah, I mean, it sucks for Miami just because of what they've done and what they've been through. I mean, it's not like they've lost to nobodies at this point. I mean, you look at the losses. I mean, it's literally number 15 and a playoff team last year who is just outside of this 25 ranking right here that probably arguably should be in too. It's unfortunate, but I hope the committee figures it out down the road. And yeah, I think these next few weeks are definitely going to kind of shape the rest of these rankings, and they'll come out. The numbers will keep coming out, of course, after every week. So we'll have something to react to if anything changes. I don't know if it will or not, but that's why we're here doing this today. So that's just initial thoughts on it. But yeah, not a fan personally.
Yeah, it seems like they're projecting, which isn't what they're supposed to be doing. I think that that's part of it. I also, what we're projecting with Missouri, it looks like I think Missouri at 22 is too low. Another big thing is Iowa. They have Iowa ranked, which the AP poll doesn't. I think that's a big thing. And I agree with it. I think Iowa 100% should be ranked. Has been very good. I mean, they're the closest team to beat Indiana this year. So I'd say that I'm glad that they've kind of looked at Iowa and looked at some of the, Big Ten teams that are maybe lower in the AP poll or just in general fan perspective, looking at like Washington and teams like that. And then, yeah, I feel like you were kind of going on the path of like 20 through 25 seems like, hey, let's just rank like a really borderline team that another top 15 team's going to play and give them a ranked win really quick, is what it seems like they kind of do. Because like,
it's weird. I don't get it. Yeah.
Notre Dame beats Pitt. That's a ranked win. Oregon can beat Washington, ranked win. Texas A&M plays Missouri this weekend, ranked win. Oklahoma still plays Missouri. And then I have one other thing, and I'm curious how close the debate was for Indiana, Ohio State. That's my only other thing. I'm
I am
very
too.
curious.
I'm
Very
shocked.
curious.
I'm really shocked, honestly, about what I saw.
And I get it because national champions last year haven't lost a game. I get it. Cool with it.
Yeah.
I have no problems with it. I'm just curious how close it was. Same thing with A&M. I know they talked about like the defensive line and stuff like that, which I agree with, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it's the first one. Things are going to change a ton. There are going to be teams on here that aren't on here in 2 weeks, and there's going to be teams that jump up a decent amount because of games that they play. So we 100% will see, and like Cade said, we will react to it every week and give our thoughts on it. Now we can go to the marquee games of the week, and we are starting in Lubbock, Texas, where the number 7 team BYU plays Texas Tech, number 8. This is 11 Central, 12 Eastern. Currently, right now, Texas is 10.5 point favorites, over under sitting 52.5. This is interesting because you look at the games that both these teams have played and how they've played, and I would argue BYU should be a much smaller dog. And I think that a lot of people have not watched both these teams play. This is an under the radar marquee game for a lot of casual watchers who just watch the SEC or just watch the Big Ten. I think this is a top 5 game of the year potentially, even with where the point spread's at. And like, to dive into the matchup, Texas Tech's defense, when BYU's on offense, Texas Tech defense is elite. They are top 5 in both pass and defense. or I think top 5, but maybe top 25, something like that, in both passing defense and rushing defense. I think the biggest question you have to ask yourself when BYU's on offense is, can BYU run the ball enough on early downs to let Bear Bachmeyer and Chase Roberts, get loose? Can Bear use his legs well enough to keep the Texas Tech passing or pass rush, at bay? I think those are your biggest questions when you look at that. And on the other side of the ball, I think BYU's defense has an advantage. I think looking at the stats and looking at how these two teams have played through this year, Texas Tech has really struggled to run the ball. They are 118th in EPA. They're 89th in success rate. The thing is, BYU's 80th in both of those categories on defense. Now, they've played Utah and some other teams that have kind of, they've played tougher, I'd say, some tougher offenses running the ball. The biggest question I have on that side is, can Texas Tech get into third and short? Because they've lived in third and long this year, and they've been able to convert it because of the strength of schedule that they've played. But they're 122nd in early down EPA and third down distance. That is not a recipe for success when you're going to be playing some of these playoff teams that you're going to play potentially, and even some of these games you're going to play down the road. That is, it's a big reason why they lost to Arizona State, because it's impossible to convert third and eights and longer all day on good defenses. So those are my biggest questions. I've already played BYU plus 10.5. I have BYU around 7.5, 8 on my models, and I have the over-under sitting right at 53. So I think that's in a great place. I think BYU's defense can kind of limit Texas Tech's offense, which I think could lead to a slightly lower scoring game. And I can't count out this BYU team. They're so good when you don't think they're going to be. And they've had so many different games where you could doubt them, and they've shown up big. And also, big scheduling advantage here with Texas Tech playing their 6th straight game, BYU coming off a bye. So I lean BYU. I'll take Texas Tech to win, but I think BYU covers.
I think this game's being overlooked by a lot of people as well. Mainly because of both defenses personally. Texas Tech offensive numbers are incredibly inflated, as you were saying. And ultimately, I think that brings me to a total play, personally. I think this is a very, very, very slow paced game. I think this is like more so battle for field position kind of deal.
Yep.
A lot of 3-and-outs, specifically, and I'm going to go back to like fall practices, or not fall practices, but like way before the season started. Not like spring, but Texas Tech loses Joyner at the start of the year. Ever since then, you put the ball in Byron Morton's hands, and it's like it's the only thing you got going for yourself. Like, this team cannot run the ball right now. Like, they are incredibly bad. The only thing is that when they try to do it, it's just still doesn't go forth, which I'm assuming. I mean, I haven't watched every Texas Tech game. I've watched a lot of the games we've had action on, of course. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's probably why that they go to so many third and longs. But ultimately, this BYU defense isn't something that you're going to be able to just short run, short pass, and then pray for a first down on your third one. Like, it's just not how you're going to win, or not. I mean, not how you're going to win against this kind of defense. The thing is, it's more so going to be trusting BYU's defense to stop that kind of thing, in my opinion. As for Texas Tech sides, I don't need to say anything about the defense. This defensive line is one of the best that we've probably ever seen them as a school. The amount of pressures that they have this year is unreal, like actually insane, regardless of who they've played. And I look at a lot of the people or the teams that they have played inside the conference, and a lot of these guys, they have quarterbacks who are very agile and mobile, I guess you could say. So, I mean, who do you have right now so far? I mean, it's Avery Johnson, that's Dampier, um, and I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be Bear this weekend as well. So, I mean, the way that they limited those guys and pretty much, I don't want to say dominated, because whatever. I expect the same thing to pretty much happen this weekend. A lot of the same schemes to kind of that we see. So overall, the number's really inflated in my opinion. I kind of like this better down to like 47. I don't know why this is really high. I don't know what it's at right now. I don't have it up in front of me.
I think it's still 52 and a half.
I was going to say, I think I have it at 50. I think I had it at 52 and a half. I'll have to double check that, but that's not posted or anything quite yet. But that's where I stand with it. In that kind of case, I do expect BYU to make this a tight game. So, and not to mention, they are down. I don't know if they're down. I don't know if he's actually downgraded completely out yet, but LJ Martin, he is looking to be questionable or probable, I think is what it is.
I think I saw questionable.
So I think there's going to be some limitations there for them to finish some drives or get some short yard gains. But ultimately, I think that's when Bear kind of takes over as the personal, like the general of this offense this game personally. So it's going to be on his legs, and I think
He's
it's going to be
probable.
them. Okay, I think it's going to be them relying on a lot of the zone read concepts this game. So it's kind of where I stand with it. But ultimately, yeah, under 52 and a half is a play for me.
All right, let's move to SEC country. Number 3, Texas A&M travels to Columbia, Missouri to take on number 22 Tigers. A&M favored by 7.5 right now. Over under sitting low 47.5. This is kicking off at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 on ABC. When A&M has the ball, this is an elite offense versus an elite defense. Missouri's defense is very good, and we have seen it now against multiple top offenses and very good teams, and we've seen that it stands up and it does. It's not one of those units that you see where they kind of crumble when they play, better competition, kind of like how Vandy's pass defense looked really good to start the year and now it's kind of crumbled as we've watched them. So biggest questions when Texas A&M has the ball: can Missouri get in third and longs and let Damon Wilson get to Marcel Reed? Because Marcel Reed's been pretty good under pressure, but still, if you can get your hands on him, if you can, mess up his footwork, that's a big thing that he's struggled with over his career at Texas A&M. If you can try and get that and limit the explosives because you're getting to them early and often, it's a big, big factor there. And then my second thing, I think Marcel Reed's legs have to be a major factor here. You have to be able to do something that other quarterbacks have not been able to do against Missouri, and that's get out of the pocket, that's extend plays, that's gain 5 or 6 yards on first down if the throw isn't there. Because, we watched Missouri against Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia did nothing. I think he had like 20 yards rushing, something like that. Like this Missouri defense is very legit, and I think there's a chance that A&M could struggle decently to consistently move the ball. They're an explosive team. They are going to get their explosives. The question is, can they get 4 or 5, or is it 2? Those kind of things. And then when Missouri's on offense, it's a freshman quarterback. I think it's a true freshman quarterback who's going to be starting this week. Played against Vandy a little bit. Didn't look great. He was okay. Can he take pressure off Ahmad Hardy? Because I think Missouri's game plan here is going to be run Ahmad Hardy to the ground. And you're just going to lean on your best player. He's the best running back in the SEC. Why would you not? A&M is 90th in EPA per rush on defense. So you have to be able to throw when the box says throw. If you can do that consistently, you have a chance, even with a true freshman QB, because Ahmad Hardy is that good. And this offensive line is good enough when healthy. So I think it's advantage Missouri on that side, depending on QB play. I sit and I'm going to take the dog here too. I think Missouri plus over a touchdown, if you can get it, is worth a shot. I have it around 5.5 personally. So I'm going to take the hook on the touchdown. And then I have the total at 52. I do think this is too low. We've seen it with A&M's defense throughout the first part of the year, and I know it's gotten better, but they let up explosives. They they're gettable if you can limit the pass rush. So I think points are going to be scored. I just think it may be in the second half more than it is the first half. I think A&M's kind of got to feel this way out to begin the game, especially on the road.
Ultimately, I think, yeah, I agree. I think I have Missouri already tracked, actually. I think I have
I
it
think
like
you do
six
too.
and a half, though. I don't really think the hook matters, honestly, because I think this game's a lot closer. I projected it A&M just above 3. So, yeah, I think their defense is really just has to wake up in this kind of spot. And yeah, again, this is a Mod Hardy written all over it after like some down play recently. I think this is like that one, especially coming off of a bye week. I think they come out a little bit sluggish, especially within the rushing defense perspective. Yeah, I agree. You have to use that guy today, or not today. Good God, I'm so out of it, you guys. Um, yeah, I think yeah, you have to use that guy though. It's not up for a debate. That's your guy. So definitely run him into the ground for that one. And yeah, I think this Missouri defense is another one that's kind of being overlooked. Like they've quietly became one of the better units amongst the conference, arguably in the country, maybe. Similar defensive line, not as good as Texas Tech's, but like at the beginning of the year, we kind of compared them to Alabama in a way, and like
We
we
did.
thought that they're pretty. I want to say level because that's pretty much what they were. And down the stretch, I mean, they've just been better. They've been the better unit overall. So it's going to be weird seeing their offensive game plan when they have to throw the ball. But I would expect him to really a lot of these like short throws, these check downs, these quick routes, just short yards on the throws, and then yeah, again, whenever you need your yards, just single back or zone, whatever you got to do, just get that, just get your first downs and just keep the clock moving. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I think ultimately this is A&M's true test as a defense in order to pretty much prove their ranking spot. And yeah, I get the line backup quarterback, but overall, it's just the spot screams Missouri here. So anything, I guess anything above probably a 6 for me would be okay. But yeah, I think I like this one to be a little bit close, a little bit scare too. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it being at home too is a huge advantage for the um, quarterback, and you just have to do enough. I think I do still think this A&M team is gettable. I do not expect them to go undefeated. I'm not saying it's going to be this game, but I think there's a very real possibility it could be this game. We will move on to Big Ten. We've got a game in every conference, except for the ACC, but we have a game in every big conference, every multiple bid league, apparently. Number 9 Oregon versus number 20 Iowa in Iowa City. This is a 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central kick. Oregon currently favored. There's some sixes out there, but we'll say 6.5. Over under has dropped to 40.5 as of recording. This is a fun one. Iowa, like we said, kind of just been silently chugging along, just murdering teams. I don't know if you've watched. I know nobody's watched any Iowa games, but like they destroyed Minnesota. My favorite over I've ever hit is just Iowa doing it by themselves. Never thought I'd ever say that, so it's been awesome. They've been super fun to watch. Oregon, we haven't seen in a minute because they haven't really played anybody outside, or since the Indiana game, we haven't really seen them. So, what do we know? What do we expect? Oregon 17th in rush success and 11th in rush success rate on, I believe it's on defense. Yes, this is no. Yeah, this is on offense. Sorry. 17th in rush success, 11th in EPA. Iowa's 110th in rush defense and 60th in EPA. That is, I don't like those numbers if I'm Iowa. Now, it's Iowa. You know they're going to be sound. They're not going to let up the big explosive plays. It's kind of the way they go. But I think Oregon has the ability offensively to put up points in this matchup. I think there are significant advantages if Dante Moore does not throw the ball to the other team. I think is the biggest thing. Because last time we saw him in a big game, we were very careless with the football. So that has to be something that's cleaned up. I don't love it being on the road with that unit, but I think that they have enough to put up points. And when you look at the other side of the ball, Iowa, what do they want to do? Run the ball everywhere. They want to run it through A gap, B gap, C gap. They'll go outside zone. They'll do everything. So Oregon's rush defense is top 17. Now, have they played anyone to the caliber of Iowa's running offense? I'd say not necessarily. I think Indiana's run offense is pretty good, but I think Iowa's going to have some success on the ground. My biggest question is Gronowski. Like, Oregon is just as good of a pass defense unit. Like, is he going to be the Gronowski that runs for 70 yards on the ground, throws for 120 with no turnovers, and you're able to muster 17, 24 points? Or is this a Gronowski that we saw at Iowa State that, kind of loses his mind, has a turnover that you kind of are just head scratching? And then can Iowa flip the field? Can they get a special teams touchdown? Because I think those are going to be the biggest plays for Iowa. My model loves Oregon. It has Oregon -8. It also loves the over. I'm probably going to play both. I already have Oregon locked in at 5. I think I got it at 5.5. I would take it anything under a touchdown. I know we've called Oregon frauds a little bit in the past. I do think that they've gotten better, and I think that this is just a game I think Dan Lanning kind of dominates. So give me the Ducks.
I might take a little bit on this one because this is the moneymaker spot for me personally. So, Oregon, they've been good. Only losses to a very good Indiana team. They've been incredibly underwhelming since then. Everybody knows that, and I think the committee knows that. They put them at 9. Like I think that's like the lowest that I've seen them at in the last few years. I think.
Yes.
They played through a really, really bad Wisconsin team and pretty much a rainstorm kind of thing. And yeah, they've just been really consistent. And I think this is the prove it game where they're like, yeah, we are a top 3 team in this conference. So the problem with this is that there is work to do after that because you have USC, you have Washington. I'm not mentioning Minnesota because they might win by 60, but you get that. You don't think though, like you have to think, right? Like Dan Lanning's got to be a little bit kind of like pissed off the way that they've been playing the last few.
Absolutely.
Right? Like they're not as dominant. They're even it's just the expectation that he has as a coach. And on the field, like you stop the running game from Iowa or the running game period in any game, you stop the team, you stop Iowa. There's a decent passing game that often sits behind in the shadows somewhere, but that doesn't really happen against this Oregon defense, in my opinion, personally. When Iowa averages 3.5 yards per carry, they win. When they do not, they are 0-2. Oregon allows 3.2. That is the 4th best defense that you're talking about there. So I think they hold up just fine, personally. And yeah, again, it goes back to their offense. You've got to give your quarterback some confidence, and I think that they kind of let this guy just sling the ball on this defense. He loves he loves going to these hostile environments. Like honestly, I think they caught a break that this game isn't a night game because night games at Kinnick's are absolute nightmares. Just ask Penn State fans and Ohio State fans; they definitely know. I think Oregon's run defense can be limited a little bit, but Northwestern, Penn State, they didn't necessarily shred them or anything. They had decent days, but Iowa, they're not going to play like this lightly slap you inside zone, quick slant, blah, blah, blah. They're going to hammer the ball down your throat like immediately in this case. Like that's their way of that's how that's how they play football.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon, they control the clock, they control the tempo. it's not deliberate, but they want to control those kind of third downs. They want to keep that clock moving. They're not incredibly fast tempo. Like they're not SMU. They're not Lashley playing like offense like that. That's just not how they do it. But the only problem with that is like nobody not like controls the clock like Iowa does. That's the thing. And here's the thing. There comes a point in time where you have to look at a line and just kind of laugh a little bit because you're almost like expecting a dogfight. Like the line, to me, like they're saying that, yeah, I'm expecting this to be pretty rough punch, like pretty big one. You need a pretty big win on your resume at this point and a dominant win. Iowa's ranked 20th, pretty rewarding. You win this game, you finally get another win under your resume, and then you play the rest of your season in hopes of making a decent seed or playoff path. It's not going to be easy, and nothing against Iowa. They've been fantastic, but again, 2 explosive plays and a special day from the nation's #1 pass defense will probably get out of Iowa alive, personally. So that's kind of where I look at this. So with that being said, Oregon -5.5, have the over 40.5. And I'm also sprinkling a ladder on the spread. I know me and you talked about this a little bit. I put Oregon from -9.5. I put them for -12.5, and I put them for -13.5. That's at least up to 200 odds. I like the value, honestly. I just think that there's no reason for them not to dominate this game. If you really want to get ballsy, go ahead and put it up to 16.5. I think it's like plus 280 or something like that. Like, to me, that might be a little bit worth it. Like, and again, nothing crazy units, just quarters, whatever you want to do with it. I don't know. But yeah, that's a definite play to me. This is Dan Lanning's get back spot, and I think this is like, I don't want to say a prove it game, but you know what I mean. They want to make some noise, and they have to. They need to for a better spot. Because here's the thing, they're going to be a nightmare for a 1 seed if they actually stay as a 9. First of all, so yeah, I think that they definitely make some noise this Saturday.
All right, those are your marquee games. We are going to. Do you have any Thursday or Friday stuff that we need to go over very quickly?
I mean, very, very miscellaneous stuff like the mat games, but I don't think we need to break that down.
No, I'm saying, do you have any bets for today or tomorrow? College football.
Do I have anything for today?
Right.
No, not today. And tomorrow, no.
Okay. I have 3. I'll just run through them really quick. I have UTSA, USF under 68. I think USF's defense is good enough to kind of shut down UTSA. I think USF will roll, but I'll take UTSA not scoring probably like 24, 28 points. Georgia Southern App State under 62.5. I think this total is like 5 or 6 points too low. Neither of these offenses are, I mean, the defenses are terrible, but neither of the offenses are like extremely good, just kind of fast paced. So I'm going to say lots of yards, no points. And then I have Houston UCF over 47.5. I like Houston to kind of get back. They've had actually a really good offense this year. Statistically, like EPA, stuff like that, it's not great, but like they hit big time explosive plays. They're able to run the ball. So I think both of them put up some points and we get over 47.5 on Friday. First 2 bets were tonight. Houston UCF is tomorrow. All right. Quickly with that, we move on to upset specials. We have 4 games we're going to talk about, and we are basically just going to say how concerned we are about an upset happening. We're going to start in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. LSU just fired their head coach. Then they had a bye week. Well, yeah. Fired their head coach, had a bye week. Now they're traveling to Tuscaloosa. Bama's favored by 9.5, 10. The question is, can LSU do things differently? Things they have not done this year with this new coaching staff. Because now we know it's not going to look the same. We know that. We know there's no way in chance that it looks the same. So, does LSU attempt to run the ball more than they have? It hasn't been great this year, but is that something you can take advantage of this Alabama defense when you run the ball. The question is, can you run it? Because Tennessee tried and could not run it. I also think Tennessee abandoned it super, super early. But can, Harlem Berry, Caden Durham, can they put up 4 yards a carry? 4.5. If they can do that, this is going to be a ball game. It's a rivalry game. I know it's Tuscaloosa at night, and that is a big advantage for Alabama, but I am slightly concerned. Slightly. Not I think there's an avenue for LSU if they can change things schematically in 2 weeks, but I think Alabama is good enough. I'm just worried about their inability to run the ball and their inability to stop the run. So, I don't think this is the team to do it, but I'd stay wary if you're in Tuscaloosa around 8:30.
I'm with you, but I'm too scared to take it.
Oh no, I'm not playing it.
The thing with it is like, yeah, with Brian Kelly talking about the ground game in general, it doesn't work. And I'll say it. I think that's the reason why Nussmeier has been so bad or erratic, because you have no rushing attack to help that cause at all. Like, who ran the ball well against Alabama earlier in the year?
Florida State.
Florida State. And then fast forward a little bit, Georgia did arguably should have won that game, and then
Missouri ran the ball decently.
It's going to say the game you barely scraped by in. All three of those teams, they got chunk yards, and they all ran for 150 plus. LSU has ran good against, mark me, Southeast Louisiana, Louisiana Tech,
Yeah,
and South Carolina. That's it. Alabama is not going to have to worry much about holding up the front lines because they don't have any. Like, it's literally like the defense is like your LSU defense. It's decent. It does not have a consistent pass rush. You're not going to give Ty Simpson a long day. No. You're not going to give LSU turnovers. It's the only thing that they can do is make the offense's job a little bit easier in terms of field position or something like that. I have zero reason. Yeah, I have zero reason to believe that this is to be some crazy close game. However, yeah, like you said, I think there's a possibility of a way to make it happen. I just don't know if it actually does. But this has a backdoor written all over it personally. Like, again, I see this kind of like that Texas Vandy game where you're up 10 pretty late and they just get a garbage time touchdown with like under 2 minutes or something. And yeah, it just goes out the door. I'm not ballsy enough to take it though, but that's probably what it's going to be. And you're going to have a lot of box score watchers talking about this one for a little bit. But yeah, I think they dominate. It's just the scoreboard's not going to say it.
Yeah, I think the avenues for LSU to win the game are very slim. I think you're really trying to thread a needle. All right, let's move. We're going to stay in the SEC. Georgia is traveling to Mississippi State. I believe this is an 11 a.m. kickoff. Georgia is currently favored right now by 7, I believe, is the spread at the moment. Maybe 6.5.
Still at the something number, yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry. It has jumped big. It is now 9 to 9.5.
I'm a terrible bettor. Oh my god.
So.
Oh god.
How does Mississippi State win this game? Is the biggest question you have to ask yourself. That's what we're doing. Upset special. We're trying to figure out how they win it. Well, I think we go and we watch the Tennessee game against Georgia and we watch that tape. What did Tennessee do? They hit explosive after explosive after explosive passing the ball. Can Mississippi State do that? Yes, they can. Is Mississippi State's defense bad? Yes. Is it worse than Tennessee's? I actually don't think it is. I think it's better. So, is Mississippi State's offense as good as Tennessee's? No. But they do the same things. Jeff Lebby and Josh Heupel both came from the same school of thought where we're going to run the ball and attempt to run the ball, and then we're going to hit you with an explosive, and then we're going to do the same thing the next possession. I know Georgia, they're not a team that has letdown spots, but like this is after a rivalry game and before Texas comes to your back door, more than likely at night. Like this is the sandwich spot of sandwich spots. I could 100% see Mississippi State leading this game for 2-3 quarters or it being really close. I'm concerned, but I'm going to say Georgia squeaks out a close one. This Georgia team doesn't get separation. So if you're asking me if I think, I'm actually going to bet Mississippi State now because Georgia doesn't win by double digits. It just doesn't happen. I think that and take Mississippi State plus whatever it is in the first quarter. It's a given at this point to take that. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned.
I'm really happy that I waited. I don't know why I was waiting or what I was waiting for. I honestly forget because I wanted to take this when it was at 7, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you said it's at 9.
9.5. Best number out there.
Did something come out? I'm so confused. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't care.
maybe.
But
let me check a injury report.
I would have taken it at 7. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you hit on everything. It's Georgia's pass rush isn't necessarily there. They're outside the top 100 and I think pressure rate and sack EPA. That's the thing. It's like that's kind of weird to say. They're like third worst in the country. That's just I don't know. Mississippi State, on the other hand, congratulations to Levy, by the way. You have a real SEC team that's pretty much up there now. They've been competitors all year long. They probably should have had a couple more wins on their schedule by now, honestly.
They should have beaten Tennessee.
Yeah. They should have beaten Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they should have 3 wins.
They have I think this is their bowl eligibility game, I think, right? They're 5, what are they, 5 and what? 5 and 3? I think something like that. I don't know. I think it's a definite, like, big time step forward, in my opinion. Considering they won 2 games last year. Here's the thing.
5 and 4.
Until I see otherwise, though, I mean, I think I've faded Georgia the most out of all of us 3 this year, and I'm going to continue to do so, personally. I don't understand why they keep bringing these lines up so high for no reason. Like, Mississippi State, they are, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they're the best against the spread team this year.
They're up there.
I think they're really close. I think this is like last year's Minnesota. Like pretty bad, but really good against the spread numbers and everything. I just like them. I just like them in the spot. Yeah. They've gotten a lot of good draws at home this year. And again, I have that Georgia to miss the playoff ticket. And quite frankly, I'm praying to God that this is the game that really does it. I don't know.
There's 5 teams. 5 teams with 1 loss or less against the spread: Ohio State, Memphis, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, and San Diego State.
Okay, so they are up there. That's fine. Yeah, I don't get the market here personally, and this is the one. Yeah, like I can definitely see that. Up for majority of the game, probably the entire game, and then just some late score. I hope not. Honestly, I want to see them lose so bad. This would be so big. But yeah, I'll take my chances.
Do you think Mississippi State is a better football team than Florida?
Like program wise, like right now?
Like right now. If they were playing right now and I gave you and you said who's gonna win the game. Neutral field.
Oh boy. I mean, what did we just play? Each other like 2 weeks ago? I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah.
Yeah, they did. It was in Florida. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, neutral field. Yeah, I mean, I think they win, but I mean, I don't want to say that game says a lot because it really doesn't. They looked really bad in that game. Florida did, by the
Yeah,
way. Sorry, I'm just prefacing, but
I'm just confused because we just favored Georgia by 7 on a neutral against Florida. Now they travel to Starkville and it's 9.5.
I mean, they outgained Florida in that game. I'm looking at the box score right now and everything.
They
So
should
I
have
mean,
won.
yeah,
He threw a pick to a defensive lineman driving at. They were at the 25. They would have
they
won.
were. Oh, now I remember. I remember this now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
remember the
taking
end of the
Mississippi
next game.
State. I think that's that line's crazy.
I
We're gonna look like
wanted them at
idiots
seven
on
and a
Monday.
half, but yeah, I'm all over it at 9.5 personally.
Yeah, agreed. All right,
I
we're
might.
gonna
Is
move.
that hold on? 2 unit question mark. Do
Oh
we do
God,
that?
I don't know
Do
about
we do
that.
that?
I don't know
Do
about
we
that.
do that?
You can. I won't.
Don't talk me off. God.
Georgia is 3 and
Upcoming.
5 against the spread.
Up and coming 2 unit play probably. You'll know.
All right, let's move. Staying in the SEC because that's where upsets happen. Auburn is at Vandy. Vandy is favored. I think they're still favored by 6.5. I believe. I think that game's at 3. Hold on, let me check. Yep, still favored by 6.5. This I put this on here because of the letdown spot. I don't like Vandy is not good enough to me where they're just gonna bounce back every week. Like I cannot just say that for certain. They're not Georgia or Alabama or anything like that. So like are they mentally there knowing that they have to win out the rest of the year? Obviously, Auburn just fired their coach. You know what we like to do when teams fire their coaches and have interims. Dead cat bounce. It's just a thing. It's just I just don't have an avenue for Auburn to win this game because like you know what Vandy does really well defensively? They stop the run. You know what Auburn's really good at? Running the ball. You know what Vandy's bad at? Passing attack. Like their secondary is not good. But like Auburn's quarterbacks are awful. Like they're terrible. Like Auburn can probably, limit Diego and Cedric Alexander and these running backs, but I just don't I cannot trust this Auburn passing offense at all. So I don't think it happens. I honestly could see Vandy winning by double digits. I'm just very curious how like the first half goes because I mean Vandy plays close games. That's kind of their thing. So I'm interested. I'd be more worried if I knew what the first half score was.
Yeah, this secondary is going to get torched, like really bad. It has the characteristics to be a blowout. I just don't know if it is or not quite yet. Nonetheless, it's a really crazy statement to lead off with. I took Auburn 7.5.
I mean, I don't hate it. It's the hook. Like I don't.
No, I mean I
Good
got the
CLV.
yeah. If I have the best number available, I'm fine. But then again, I could very much so seeing this game being like over in the second quarter. like,
I don't know if
I
their
don't
offense is
really.
that good.
These games are just super hard to predict after firing a coach and a quarterback situation like this one. I honestly, if anything, I kind of like the under. I'm
Yeah,
debating it. I know it's pretty low. I think we're at like what 46, 45 or something like that. But overall,
it's. I mean, just.
45 is pretty good in my opinion.
I mean,
But
we saw it last week. Vandy didn't do
yeah,
anything until the fourth quarter.
literally.
Like you play superior athletes, and Auburn has superior athletes defensively. You can't tell me they don't because I think
Right.
they have a top 5 defense in the SEC. So
It's just crazy. Like, how did we get here? The Hugh Free special, baby. Yeah, I took Auburn at 7.5. That's in an offshore though. I think I got that at Bovada or Bet Online, one of the two. It's posted in my action. You guys can go look at it, but it's one of those two books. I don't know if I doubt it's still available. It probably.
I
I don't know.
doubt it.
I mean, that was 3 days ago, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't see. There's that. Which follow the action, so you can get best numbers. I know
True.
we're putting bets in Monday morning. All right, we are gonna finish in the ACC. It's the only ACC game we talk about. Can anyone guess what it is? Wake travels to Virginia. They're favored currently right now 6.5 across the board. Yes, Wake just got absolutely destroyed by Florida State. Okay. They also had just beat SMU, and no one expected anything from this Wake team. So letdown spot made sense. Made sense to me. Virginia has been asking to lose for the better part of 5 weeks. They have, I think they've had one game over the past month they've had a above 50% win expectancy. Post game win expectancy. North Carolina should have lost. Literally only lost because of a fumble into the end zone and a missed 2-point conversion that he missed by 3 inches. Should have lost to Louisville. And then who'd they lose to? NC State. So they're just asking to lose. Wake's defense is so good. Like they're legitimately like a very good defense. Like
So
it's
quiet. Legitimately the most underrated unit I've probably ever seen this season in a
and they've
long time, actually.
and they've played good teams. It's not like
Yeah.
they're not playing anybody. Like they just played SMU. Like they've played some good offenses. Um, Wake's got to be able to run the ball though. Like you have to do something because Virginia's up tempo most of the time up tempo when they're moving the ball and when they're clicking. You have to be able to run the ball to offset that and be able to sustain drives. I'm gonna be honest. I'm very concerned. I think Wake can get them. I I'm I'm gonna say it. I think Wake gets. I think Virginia's. I think this is Virginia's loss. I know they play Duke next week too. Big look ahead spot. I'm going. Give me the Deacons.
I mean, if you weren't going to say it, I was. But yeah, I mean, I'm
Perfect.
already on it. I'm on Wake at 7.5. Or sorry, 6.5. Sorry. Um, yeah, this is stupid. I'm so ready. This is another team that I'm just ready for them to lose. Like the past, and yeah, I'm getting this from another article that I've read, but past 5 victories, right, or past 5 wins that they have conference play. Louisville by 3 in overtime. You have 2 defensive touchdowns in that game. Um, Florida State double OT, outgained by nearly 75 yards. UNC by 1 and also in overtime, also outgained by nearly 100 yards. And very lucky finish, I must say, if you guys watch that game. Really stupid. Wazoo by 2 on a borderline last second safety, also outgained. And then Cal by 10, which, if you watched,
It was 3. It was 3. That hurts you. I know it does.
dude, I didn't even watch that game. I woke up to it because I was asleep, I think. Yeah, that was stupid. I don't want to talk about that. But seriously, you guys, their offense in the red zone is terrible. We saw what that was in the NC State game specifically. And they just haven't proven anything against a really good team at all. And it's really sad that if for whatever reason, if they do win this week and they do win next week, which quite frankly I think they lose both, that's going to determine who's in the ACC championship. And we might have an ACC championship where we see, what was that one game? Ohio State versus Wisconsin or Nebraska a few years ago where they won by 50? That's
It
literally what
was
it's going to be.
Ohio State, Nebraska.
That's literally what this is going to turn to if they end up winning out, which again I don't think that they are. Yeah, I'm
No,
with you
look
taking
ahead
the
line
money
for
line.
next week's 5. They're
The spot screams.
underdogs by
It's
5.
the spot's amazing. This
Yeah,
is beautiful. So
yeah,
they should be. Well, this is what it would. They should be 2-6 against the spread as a conference favorite.
yes,
So
yeah. I like it. All right, we'll hit a little coaching update. Obviously, Hugh Freeze got fired, so sucks. Figure out quarterback, and usually you're going to be good. PSA to NFL head coaches too. All you need is a quarterback. Yeah, you can't miss 3 times on a QB. That's really all. You can't when you're losing. You can't go play golf for 4 hours on a Sunday instead of watching film and doing things like that. I think Hugh Freeze is a good coach. I don't think his offensive system works with a QB that sucks. I don't know who they hire. I'm interested because it's
You
the
know
same
who they
names.
hire.
It's the same names.
I know it is,
Summerall,
but
Summerall, Kiffin, Drink, Clark Lee, Brett, all of them. It's all the same names. Brent Key. Um, all the names are the same. I will say it's interesting. Actually, go ahead and give your thoughts on it first.
I mean, at first I thought he was going to Virginia Tech, but this is like a spot that I think screams Franklin, in my opinion.
I could see it.
I would love to see it. It's a
That'd
perfect
be
place
fun.
for him to fit back in the SEC. It's either him. To me, it's either him or it's a group of five, like a Silverfield. I don't think it's Golish, but like a him or somebody like that.
I think it's a year early for both of them personally, but I could see it if Summerall goes to LSU or something.
Yeah, that's a big if, but I think Franklin has to be your number one guy given the other jobs on the board right now because I think that's honestly your only option in my opinion.
Yeah, they'll call the same names. I'm sure. I think.
Yeah, they will, but it's just a matter of like what they offer versus what everybody else is, and it's just not going to compete. So it's just going to be like dominoes pretty quick.
I don't
But
know. I'd be interested some people's opinion on like Florida versus Auburn because I would argue Auburn might be a better job. Just saying. I think
at this point of where we are as programs, I mean, it's a pretty decently close. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to say anything because again, I'm not like an SEC guy and recency bias. Not even recency bias. Just like history wise, everybody and their mom's going to say Florida, but that's the thing. It's not relying on 2008 or anything like that. This
I
is
mean Auburn
2025.
Auburn won a natty in 13,
Auburn
12,
was they've
11.
won a
Okay.
national championship in this century too. So I mean, it's not like it's out of the question. Of course,
Yeah,
it's not very far off. It's not
I
far off.
think a lot of people are going to like question like boosters and things like that because of the Brian Harsin debacle and all that and how look, they've fired coaches left and right for the better part of 15 years when you look back at Chiswick to Malzahn to Harsin to Hugh Freeze and now here. That's 5 coaches in 15 years. That's a lot. However, I do think the boosters are on board. I think they have the right people in place to make this hire. I do think Auburn is a very attractive job. They have all the resources that Alabama has, all the resources that Georgia has. They are in the same boat. This is not your little brother Auburn. Like Nick Saban's not at Alabama anymore. I know Kirby's at Georgia, but like you can recruit with those guys. You're not going to get a top 3 class like they do, but you can go get a top 10 class easily at Auburn. So obviously it's going to be down to staff, regardless of who you hire as a head coach. But I think Franklin would be interesting. I think they should go the younger G5 route just to get a guy that could stay there for a decade. You need to find a guy that's not going to leave and that you can get leeway with. Like they have Auburn also has to understand that when they brought in Hugh Freeze, it was like you've got 3 years and that's it. Like I think that was pretty understood, and he failed. I think it should be the same thing, but you know let's just put a competent offense on the field. How about that? Let's do that. But I've been hearing Penn State, obviously not going to be rule, as we figured that out. I'm very interested in some of the candidates that have been rumored to, I'm interested in Elko. I mean, be an interesting one. I don't think he'd leave. I think A&M's a great job, and I don't know why
I
he
think
would
he gets
go.
extended first, personally,
I,
but
I agree,
they
but
need to. I should say. I'll preface that.
yeah, in these coaching jobs, like we're not going to hear anything for the better part of a month. Like we've still got a month to go before anyone probably gets hired. It's just going to be interesting what the first domino is and who it is, because I think that's going to set the entire market.
For sure.
Whether
Like
it's
once the one goes, then I think the rest of them follow pretty quickly. So
yeah, agreed. And then lastly, we have our favorite underdog money line for the weekend, which Cade decided to go in a very interesting route that I'll let him explain himself.
oh dude, I'm not even I am betting it. Um yeah. Speaking of look ahead spots, technically you can look at the other side of that look ahead spot that we were just talking about. And ladies and gentlemen, that's UConn. How about it? Look at that. Is it plus? It's almost plus 300. I think is what it is. It's
Yes.
enticing to say the least. I just don't see a world where I mean I see a world where they Duke obviously wins, but I just don't see a world where they one cover. And yeah, I don't know. It's a little
Big
shaky to
UConn
me.
guy.
I don't have a breakdown for their money line. It's just I don't really have a breakdown for the spread either. Honestly, I just think it's a spot. It's a really one of those like non-conference butting head kind of deal
I mean, it's your
with a decent game on deck. Obviously,
it's your Ole Miss Wazoo. It's your, you know,
yeah.
Virginia
You,
Wazoo.
you look at all those games, and then yeah, they're pretty freaking close. Of course, I don't know. This UConn defense just might put Mensa in a blender. I don't know. But something about it. Something about it. Maybe both of those teams losing ahead of that big game would be
That'd be
hilarious,
funny.
though.
That would
That'd
be
be
funny.
really funny.
I'm taking Kentucky. They play Florida. I think that we saw the Florida bounce back. And what do we do when interims are getting further in the season? We then fade them because you can't keep it up as like it's not fun. Like your coach got fired. You usually get a bounce back and then you kind of go back to where you were. I also think his Kentucky team's playing pretty well under Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops might save his
Motivated.
job. He's going to save his job right here because he's going to get a upset win at home at night in Kroger Field against Florida. And then, I don't know what is that would be plus 789 on FanDuel, by the way. Just go ahead and give you those odds. I don't have odds on the next one because somebody picked a Wednesday game like a
I
dummy, and we're
forgot.
recording on Thursday.
In my defense, we were recording yesterday for a little bit, and then that idea got shut down pretty quick because I had some mishap,
Mm-hmm.
whatever this is that went on.
Anyways, your favorite of the weekend?
My favorite. I mean, I'd be lying if I wasn't saying it's Oregon, but for the sake of the show, favorite. Oh man, I think at this point I have to go Memphis.
Memphis.
The lines dropped a lot.
Who's Memphis playing?
Memphis is playing
Oh,
Tulane tomorrow.
Tulane. Okay, so we can do this. It's a Friday.
They can play. They play tomorrow. It's at 3.5 right now. It's dropped a ton, but a lot of the money's been kind of 50-50. I don't want to say 50-50, but it's been a lot of 60-40. I just don't know why the line's dropping that much. So I'll take fade the steam, by the way. That little system that we have going on. If you're in the
Yeah,
Discord, that thing's like a freaking gem right now.
yeah,
I think we're
it
at
is.
52 and what is that, like 52 and 30? I
Yeah,
don't know
something like
off
that.
the
I
top
know
of my
it's
head.
up like 18 units.
It's actually hilarious because I
Yeah.
thought it was just some stupid thing for like weeks 1 through 4, but it turns out that
No.
that's actually kind of a gold mine. So I'll back the system this week and take Memphis.
All right. Well, I'm going to stay in the same conference. We're going to have an American
How
parlay.
about that? How about that?
I'm going. I'm going rice. Okay, you're not supposed to lose to food. Well, guess what? UAB is going to lose to food. Okay.
Oh God, I can't go on mute. I can't cut
Yeah, Rice is at home. Their offense sucks, but their defense is really, really good. UAB's defense is atrocious, and I mean, yeah, UAB beat Memphis. That was cool. I don't think it continues. So, give me the Owls, and that's it. That's. You have anything else that you would like to discuss today?
Morning huddle is up in the air for Saturday morning, or are we doing that?
I'm game if you're game.
I said I'll be fine. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully you're okay.
Yeah, I'd plan for it. 10 a.m. this time. That way we don't have to go as long, of course, but it's just something quick just to do because we haven't done it in a little bit. But
Okay.
apologies there. But yeah, we'll aim for 10 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Cool. That Rice minus 2.5, Memphis minus 3.5 is plus 256. So if you trust us with your money, there you go. That's going to do it for us on this. What is it? Week 11 preview. Wow, we have 4 weeks left.
We'll make an announcement about off-season stuff maybe further down the road, but we've been talking behind the scenes, so we do have a little bit of some stuff coming. Of course,
We got some stuff cooking.
We're not done. We're not done. I'll just put it that way.
No, not even close. Thank you guys again for listening. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, follow, give us a like, a review, tell your friends, do whatever it is you do. I hope everyone wins their bets, and let's have a great week 11 Saturday. We'll see you at 10 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning.
Flu game performance this weekend. Mark your calendars, by the way. Peace.
Dose.